He heard something behind his seat and turned his head to find out what was making the noise. Then he saw it and felt his stomach twist in a knot. He could see a little boy with his head in his arms. Despite his best efforts, it was clear that he was upset. Tom heard the boy and realized that something was very wrong. Then he caught a glimpse of the boy's face, and the feeling only got worse. Any child can easily find it difficult to start a new school. You have a lot of fears going through your mind. How well will they fit? Will you be late on the first day? And will there be good people to befriend? All of these questions can be a nervous wreck for anyone, especially a child. When Dale, a 7-year-old boy, came home from the first day of his new school, all of his fears came true. Dale had gone to his first day at the Holly Family Catholic School and thought the first few lessons were great. He tried to familiarize himself with the many winding corridors and strange classrooms. He even tried to chat with his classmates and teachers. During the break, he was talking to a boy in the playground. Maybe this new school wasn't that bad, but when the doorbell rang to indicate the day was over, Dale had done something he had regretted. It was 3:15 a.m. when Dale left school. He could see longtime students talking excitedly about how they would spend the rest of their day. The mass of students raced out the doors to get home. Dale walked behind the crowd, unimpressed, as he walked slowly out the gates. There Dale could see the school bus waiting for him there. He had never ridden the bus alone, but his mother had taught him what to do under all circumstances, so he thought he knew how to do it. He was wrong. There were other students in the school on the bus, but none Dale knew. He felt like all eyes were on him, so he went straight to the back of the bus. He looked out the window and started thinking about coming home. After a few stops, most of the children were gone and an old man got on. As he sat down, he peered down at Dale. What has he done? Dale didn't know how it was going to go so wrong. It was 3:40 a.m. now and Dale's mother had seen no sign of him. He should have been home by 3:30. She was worried now that all she could do was make tea and wait. It was only 10 minutes. He would be back any minute. She stared nervously at the watch and kept her eyes on it. It was his first day there, but she was confident that her son would make it. But she didn't understand what was going on. When the clock struck 4:00 a.m., Dale's mother could no longer control her nerves. What happened to your child? She picked up the phone to call the headmaster and tell him that her son still hadn't made it home. The school used their emergency chat group to send a notification. It described what the boy was wearing and told everyone to keep a sharp lookout for the boy. But Dale didn't have much time left. After 50 minutes had passed on the bus, Dale grew suspicious. He felt like his house wasn't that far away. When it was an hour, his stomach turned. And the bus passed his house without stopping. The old man was still watching him carefully. The little boy didn't understand why he was looking at him. But when the man got up and walked over to Dale, he got very nervous. The man was now only a few seats away. Dale noticed now that his eyes were bloodshot. It was just Dale the bus driver and that old man. Dale didn't know what to do. Dale just wanted to be home with his mother. He just wanted to be safe in his bed. Dale wasn't aware of how much more he had to go through. It had been more than an hour now, sitting alone on the bus. Every minute passed very slowly as the man turned his gaze to Dale. When Dale saw the bus stop at his school, he had a feeling that something very strange was going on. He could feel his mind racing as his hands began to sweat. When the doors to the bus opened, he saw 3 older children get on the bus. This was his chance. Tom, an older student at Holy Family Catholic School in Liverpool, got on the bus after school after basketball practice. He was accompanied by 2 of his friends, Harry and Dylan. They took their places in front of the bus and chatted excitedly. It was her first day of school after the December break, but none of the boys could have guessed how the day would end. Tom's phone buzzed and he pulled it out of his pocket. When he saw the message, he frowned in concern but continued to chat with his friends. Then he heard a sob from the back of the bus. He turned and saw an old man walk past him and get off the bus. A ruined little boy sobbing into the sleeves of his parka was in the back of the bus. What's happened? He approached Dale and asked him what had upset him so much. In tears, Dale explained that he was new to the area and had got on the wrong bus. To add to the boy's fear, he had no cell phone and probably not enough money to get home. In fact, he didn't even know where his home was. Then Tom noticed the tennis shoes with the blue laces that the boy was wearing. He was the boy everyone was looking for. After hearing the little boy's dilemma, Tom knew what to do. He pulled a handful of notes from his back pocket and handed them to the dejected boy. Then he told the bus driver to stop the bus. "It's fine, mate, don't worry. You'll be home soon," he reassured Dale. Then he pulled out his cell phone. But Tom knew he had to be quick. Tom, Harry, and Dylan started looking for taxi services on their cell phones. Bingo! They called Delta Taxi Service and sent them their location. And to make sure Dale was safe, they waited with him for the taxi. But none of the teenagers expected them to go viral for their good deed. Another student who witnessed the incident posted the story on Facebook. There are really some really decent kids out there. All I know is that his name is Tom and that he is an 11th grade student of the Holy Family. If someone knows him or his parents, let them know what a lovely boy they raised. Belief in humanity has been restored a little today. It didn't take long for the story to spread like wildfire on social media. Harry Campbell's mother Colette wrote, Harry asked Dylan to call the cab to pick him up, to make sure he got home safely. God love him. That little guy was upset and got on the wrong bus, and it was his first day, wouldn't have known very many people either. But would the identity of the kind and considerate senior ever be revealed? After the story went viral, someone who knew Tom personally tagged his older sister Katie O'Brien in the mail. She replied, "Hi everyone, it was my little brother. I just got tagged by a friend of mine." We're so proud of Tom, and it's so nice to know he's a good boy in the outside world. The school called our mom and left a nice message, added Katie. All of your comments are so nice that we were all close to tears. Tom will hate all the attention. One mother responded to Katie's comment by saying, "You should be so proud of him and tell your teacher who can use him as a role model so that everyone can follow him." Well done, Tom. When Tom saw Dale at school the next day, he asked how he was. Dale returned his money, stating that the taxi driver refused to take it. The taxi driver was so moved by Dale's tears that he decided to drive him home for free. It wasn't long before Tom's kind act reached Matthew Son, the headmaster. He was pleased that Tom and his friends had shown so much compassion. It's just beautiful, and at the beginning of the year, it really sets the tone for everyone else, he said. Then he made a comment on Tom's character. Tom is an incredibly thoughtful and all-round good guy. He was just pleased that the boy had got home safely. He gave a great example to a whole 7-year-old bus who had all these worries and fears for the older children. He also said that Tom's good dad are an amazing example of how older students at school are expected to take care of the younger ones. Ruth's mail was so busy that Dale's story was soon picked up on local news networks. Tom can't quite believe all the fuss, Katie told Sky News. He honestly never thought it would go that far, but he's glad that teenagers can be seen in a good light. Tom's father, Kenny, later said how proud he was of his thoughtful and caring son. "I'm very proud of him. He's a very thoughtful boy and has a great personality," he told The Echo. He didn't tell me until later that night when he realized people were talking about it on Facebook. And what does Tom think of all the attention? Well, he doesn't think what he did was a big deal, but his family thinks differently. His sibling admitted that they and their family were proud of all 3 boys for helping, adding, "It's just so nice to see teenagers get good press for a change."